Welcome to Rewrite the Mother Code, the show where we can explore our inner mothers to actualize our greatest selves. Through interviews with incredible guests, live coaching sessions, and my own experiences, we're going to dive deep into embracing feminine values and reparenting ourselves. So be prepared to show up, hold space, and be mothered in a way that you never have before, but have always needed. It's time to rewrite the mother code. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Rewrite the Mother Code. Actually, this is this week's additional episode because I have loved doing these bonus episodes with 𝐒𝐡𝐨 Tuazon through her pregnancy and now birth. Yes. So the last one you all have listened to, we thought we had some time with 𝐒𝐡𝐵, and our little girl decided to come early. And unfortunately, I missed it. So super sad about that. We'll probably talk all about these things, but so excited to be with her and that she's willing to come on just basically a week and a half into being a new mama. Here we go. Well, here we are. And oh my gosh. I mean, you and I have talked, obviously, since the birth of your beautiful girl. But we haven't shared with the audience. You're so generous to hop on. What are we? How many days into post-birth? Like 10?
11.
No, 11. Yeah, 11 days. Mm-hmm. So it's very tender, precious, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, 𝐒𝐡𝐵. And we'll get right into stuff. But thank you for being here. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
There's so many places to start. So I don't want to dictate it, but you have feelings coming up. So why don't we just start right there?
Yeah. Like every time I remember, like, wow, like this little being, this creature has only lived 10 full days of life on this planet. Like, that's insane to me. And she's so loved. She's been so anticipated. She's so like welcome, and she's so precious and darling. Mm-hmm. And it's also sometimes really hard to be with her and her big feelings, to be with her and not know what she needs all the time, like immediately. I mean, I guess it's like just as hard sometimes to not know what I need all the time immediately.
Oh, good catch. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it's insane. Like this is her 11th day of life. So she's like, have we lived so much life in the last 10 days? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And we don't know. And trying to put we're going to try to put words to a whole experience, a whole space that really is out of the realm of words, but we're going to try and encapsulate it. So, and your feelings, I think reflect it as much as anything any of our words can, right?
Like we'll catch what we catch. And it's just like, when you say things like that, it's like, it's like an infinite experience. It's like an infinite, there's so much surface of the experience to rest on, push against, play with. And none of this makes any sense. I know it doesn't need to, but it's like, what? It's big. It's like, and the birth experience was huge. Like, and I know that all of this is only the beginning. And that astounds me. Even in the last 10 days, like the different concerns that have arisen for me and that I've either handled or assured myself of or gotten reassurance about like is
sure.
Like there's something at least every other day.
Wow.
Sometimes more often. So yeah, there's always like, it occurs to me like that's part of the infinity is like, there's always something that I could be that I could concern myself with. And being concerned about something doesn't mean that things aren't going well.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah. I'll probably need to listen to myself say that.
Yes, over and over. Wow.
It was the same in the birth experience, or even like the days leading up to the birth experience. Like some of the things that the midwives were concerned about never.
That's right. Gosh, that seems so long ago.
I know, it was ages ago.
An infinity ago, right?
An infinity ago. It comes around. Like some of the things they were concerned about me health-wise experiencing or developing, like never came to pass. Like we always just kept, nope, that's not a thing. But like, yeah, being concerned about it doesn't, well, there's two things. Being concerned doesn't mean something's wrong. And well, there's more than two things. Then like being concerned, that means that there's care. There's care. There was care for me to make sure that I didn't develop this, that I didn't go preeclamptic, or like to make sure that I could handle my blood pressure. And we just kept making sure that was the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing for like when baby girl's crying and you're like, is this gas? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Like, are you just really hungry? Let's try something. See how you respond. Because we are not yet fluent in understanding your cries. Yeah, like when, oh gosh, and we care. We care about her health and safety and comfort and well-being, and we want to make sure that she's well cared for. That's the source of any of the concern that I've had. And like I just in that last sentence was directing that to her, to this being who's now outside of my body. And then there's me, there's this body, there's my experience in my body. And that's related, but distinct.
Yes. Just really being with these stages of within, now without, but still so connected. And yeah, well, you're saying it beautifully.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Every time that we get, we like have gone not very long ago, this little being was inside of my body, of the boundaries of my body. And so like, it's wild to walk away from her. And I like mark the milestones, like look at Ryan and be like, this is now the farthest away from that little creature that we've ever been. Like we've never been this far. Like, oh gosh, is this okay? Like, it has to be okay. It has to be okay.
I love you marking that. I love you recognizing that, because I think some of these things go so kind of unnoticed as we just move into our life or move into a stage, but to acknowledge that and presence it is really beautiful.
Yeah. There's sometimes I'm like, when I wish to be farther, there's sometimes I'm like, but then there's equally, I don't know if equally is the right word, but at the same time, there's moments, especially after a feeding, because we're doing mostly breastfeeding. We're doing, I think we've fed a few ounces of my milk from a bottle, just to like, it's earlier than I thought that we would do that, but we played with it. And yeah, like, so most of the time after feeding, like we're like literally right here. And I'm like, I don't want to put you down.
Why would I put you down?
Why would I
want you right here.
Like we're right here. Some of the reasons are because I want to sleep.
Yes.
Because I want to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Like there are reasons to put her down. Because you need to have your diaper changed. Just like really good reasons to put her down, to take her away from this closeness. I'm just like, I just recognize how precious it is. And like, on the one hand, we have a little cheer for her. When we have a good latch.
Oh, I love it.
You know, go Lila, go. Grow Lila, grow. And
oh, that just delights me and brings tears to my eyes. That's so beautiful.
yeah. I mean, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help grow her up. And yeah, I see how precious like the time is. Ryan and I, we did a musical theater project, like our last project together before the birth was at the Toll Theater in Hammond, Indiana. It was called Murder Ballad, a very different energy from anything I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
There's this scene that we do keep referring to in that musical. That's like, it's a young couple with their young child, and the sentiment, I think she's 5 years old at this point. The little one is 5 years old, and the line is, she'll be in college any day. And there's so much, there's like both the preciousness of this time now, and also like we got to plan and get ourselves ready and together for like her whole future, which is also our job. And that's almost like a false question, like, how do I do both? Like, you just do. It's at different moments, different times. Like, I'm probably not going to be planning for her financial future while I have her on my chest right here. Probably. Like,
that doesn't mean some brainstorm might not come to you in that space, right? Like, that's there, and that could drop in a little download of some sort, but it's not where you're intentionally putting your energy, right? Like I'm in this moment of caring for her.
Yes. And I trust that there's time for all of the moments. Yeah. For her and for me.
Yeah. That's what we want to keep underlining, right?
Yeah.
I love how you keep bringing that in. And as you talk about her, connect it to you. It's I don't know why it reminded me. And now I can't remember why exactly some things you talked about regarding the birth are in that same vein, but we'll go wherever. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
I'm like, just watching myself, and I want to join your space versus like, let's get linear. Let's go back to the birth and like bring us forward. I'm like, no. And we will talk about the birth. Like, don't get me wrong.
Can. That's part of the infinity loop, I think.
Right.
I have little milestones for myself. It sounds like a weird thing to be proud of, but like, like so far today we've bled less than any other day since the birth. Yay!
Oh my God. I think that's a great thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And that could be reversed. It's like, oh, I'm still bleeding. Oh my God. Like the space you could go in that. Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, when will this be done? I would just want to not be bleeding anymore versus like, oh, it's less today. And that's comforting. That must be we're moving in the right direction. But there's even things like that we can hold like, oh, and I might even be sad when that's done. Like they're all little milestones that have both the like, yay, we're moving forward. And I'm like, oh, this phase is, things are changing.
Yeah.
I can remember that smell. There's like, and it's weird. This is like, so like you said, like, this is so weird to talk about, but I, for some reason, like loved that smell. I was looking forward to smelling that smell if I were to be with you. It's like one of the things I was looking forward to. I don't know. I guess my olfactory just connected it to this whole space or something, or I'm a vampire. I'm not sure.
It's definitely a rich, I am a rich environment of smells. I'll say that. That's quotable right there.
That is. Hi, I'm so excited to share with you my 2024 Spring Equinox Self-Mothering Retreat that's happening this March 2024. And I would love for you not only to consider it, but to attend. But in considering it, hey, just knowing that you would be leaving cold weather, if that's the space that you're in, and coming down to just magnificently beautiful, warm, nourishing place of 𝐒𝐡𝐤, Mexico. 𝐒𝐡𝐤 meaning land of the goddess women, and coming to really take time for yourself. Okay. And that I am learning more and more isn't just a nice thing to do or something extravagant or something selfish. It's essential. And I really want you to take it seriously, to consider, just think about what would it take for me to go. It's a 5.5-day retreat, getting from where you are, getting there, landing there, and then being in a space that is all about you. It's all about nourishing you. It's all about tuning into you, using everything around us, the nature, the food, the beautiful people, the rituals, ceremonies. I bring it, we really bring it. And we go deeper and deeper as the days go on, and we release, we let go, we bring in what is nourishing, what is empowering, what is that space of just really divine feminine energy. And we do it in the community of women. It's not for everyone. I will be honest, if the idea of leaving and not making it work, or it's just too hard, not for you. If the idea of, spending that amount of time inwardly focused and going to that level of self-awareness doesn't sound like something you're willing to do or put the time and energy into, then it's not for you. And it's good to know that, right? So this is for people who are serious about what it means to mother themselves, what it means to take time for ourselves, and that gift and what that gift can bring to us. It was originally right after my fall retreat. It filled right up. But now some people, it turns out, are not able to come. So I do have a handful of openings. And if you're listening to this and you're willing to take that step, please reach out to me. We can do a discovery call, or you can put a deposit down. I would love that. And you can do that by going to my website, www.drgertrudelyons.com. Go to events, and there you go. It'll all be there. There's a beautiful page there for you to explore. I look forward to hearing from you and then seeing you on my spring retreat.
I think I've showered a total of 2 times. I think I'm on
Sounds like plenty.
Sounds like plenty. And honestly, the second time was like, man, if I were gonna have a meal or a snack produced by my body right now, I might be a little turned off. I think I want to bathe myself, and baby doesn't care.
No.
It has no.
We train by doing that. We're training them what's a bad smell, what's a good smell. That's we socialize ourselves to good bad smells in some ways, right? In some ways, they're there to warn us. Yeah, but there's more than I ever thought connected to the fact that
some smells be labeled as pleasant and acceptable, and some smells are not.
Mm-hmm.
Are unpleasant and unacceptable. I hadn't thought about that. That really hits me right now, kind of fresh, man. Yeah, and like you said, not all the smell of a food that has turned. We have a good, healthy revulsion to that.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't eat this. It will
this will
things to my body that
and things about that are socially acceptable, that the fact that that's taught, man, I don't know to make it that quite. I have to unpack that a little more.
I know I'm really resisting going down this road, but it's so true. But I think it's one of those things when we talk about our wiring, right? And all of this and what we think we should and shouldn't do. There's we've socialized ourselves that just defecating or going to the bathroom in the middle of the room is not a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. Because that can cause disease. There's ramifications. Right. But we do take it steps further And, where did these things happen along? Because I don't know about you, like so far, but like I love the smell of my baby's poop. Now that
it was like, it is very I mean, it smells kind of like the breast milk
right.
and it's kind of sweet. Yeah.
Right. I did notice myself change, like when you'd introduce solids and
Sure.
you're not just breastfeeding and a whole array, a different array, but I still didn't mind it. I didn't want to like smell another child's. Like it wasn't like, oh, all poop smells good to me now. Their poop did.
Huh?
This is so funny. But don't you ever have that experience sometimes? Like I don't mind the smell of my own farts sometimes,
Totally.
or my poop, right? Like,
Totally. Yeah.
so that's okay. But we're bringing this up not because it is fun to talk about pooping and farting, and I love breaking the rules and talking about it. But it connects, right? Like, what are we going to choose? And some of these things are just things that are just so unconscious and ubiquitous in our culture that you just, like, of course you should never like the smell of poop, right? But sometimes you do. And that's okay.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm glad that you I didn't expect to
some weird way we're talking about this. Yeah.
Yeah. I had expected to be more revolted, more like have more revulsion toward our baby's poop. And I haven't. I didn't think any farther past it. I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yay.
I mean, honestly, here's another thing too, is like this early in life, like, hey, you're pooping. Hey,
yes.
Nancy poop. We love it.
Oh,
hey, your poop is changing colors. We love it.
Exactly. Right. Like, cause it's diagnostic. It means life is happening. It means things are moving. And that's one of those things that we can additionally do for ourselves. Well, I mean, with what you've gone through, right?
Oh
like it's kind of a precarious situation when you have your first bowel movement post birth.
Gosh. I have this thing that I do where my brain kind of like auto creates parodies of songs. I've just had this as a gift for a long time. And one of my first ones that came out of my head, out of my mouth after birth was to the tune of Careless Whisper. Never gonna poop again, scared to stretch my perineum. And that was my just a snippet, but it says volumes.
Yes, it does. Oh my God, I love that so much. I love that so much. I think there are going to be many people who have given birth that are going to so relate to that snippet that could maybe we need a whole song.
We might extend the song. We might get all, we can go for it. That's the thing. I remember being so relieved. I was like, okay, I'm not going to actively push nothing. No, but if it's soft and it's ready, we can just let it go. And that's how I did like my first 5 bowel movements. I was just like, just not going to push, just going to release. If it's ready, it'll come. That was that.
Oh, it's so perfect. It's so perfect.
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah, I remember being kind of envious of our daughter. Like, man, you poop like so easily.
It's so what the heck?
It's no big deal. It's pooping again. I'm just like pooping 5 minutes later. Like,
yeah. I love it.
I can tell that's another marker. Another thing that I'm really happy about is like my body. I trust and I believe it'll never be the same. I've had a transformative experience, and my pelvic floor is getting stronger again because I'm working it gently on purpose. Like my deep core muscles, I activate them every day. Not a lot, but enough that this feels good. This feels right. This feels productive, and just being able to hold my body together again. We just had the big open release And now we
Mm.
pull ourselves together again, and I feel better. I feel I can shift. Oh my gosh, the first few days after the birth, when I like didn't even want to stand up,
Mm.
it took, like didn't even want to slash wasn't sure if I could stand up straight again and like actually align my pelvis underneath me. Like,
It was hard to imagine. I didn't know if it would happen.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Like, ooh, there's a stretch here. I don't know if I'm just not going to press against that. I'm just going to let that be uncomfortable and shuffle to the bathroom and shuffle back and lay down again. And I had a, like, Ryan was so, I said was, but he has been
Mm-hmm.
a really, really great support. And he's so clear that his role is like to support me. And that includes, but we totally have like a mama handles the input, daddy handles the output. Not 100% exclusively, like
Sure.
the 2 bottles that we've made, like daddy's got to feed the baby and mom has done a diaper change or 2, 5.
Right.
The much of the rest of the time, I'm like, if we're breastfeeding, I will make a request like, hey, Ryan, can you get me X kind of nutrient? Will you please turn on the light? Will you please? Yeah, mostly it's those things. Mostly
Well,
it's like
which,
drink.
well, and I don't want to minimize that because it sounds like, well, yeah, like what's the big deal? But many of us are wired in ways that like just asking for those things. And I don't know, I'm thinking, Elizabeth, for you that had you not worked on these things for yourself and, shifted some beliefs and stuff, I believe even those would have been challenged. You might have done it, but one, you would have had different feelings about it, or you wouldn't have done it. It's like,
True.
I should probably do it myself.
There are still things, it's a really good point. Like, I am more willing to, I'm going to use this verb, to disturb, or what I perceive as disturbing my husband. I'm more willing to disturb him, but not all the time. Even, if he's clearly sleeping and I could do something myself, I think there's a moment I'm like, what am I going to do about this need that I'm having? And like all the factors come into play. Like, it's just like you said, it's not a no-brainer to ask.
Right.
It's not at all a no-brainer to ask. Yet, I mean, maybe, and it's funny, like the baby has no problem.
No. She's
I'll ask
like,
for anything I want. And she doesn't want much. She wants like one of 5 things. So,
that's really true. Well, and I think that's as far as the part where it's like, because for someone, their growth and development might be more on the other end of the spectrum. Like I am capable. There are things I can do myself, right?
Sure.
And break through maybe a fear. I mean, you had to get yourself to the bathroom. That wasn't something someone else could do for you, but there might have been something else, where it was like just breaking through that fear of what's going on in my body. Can I walk? And where, it might be more inclined on the damsel in distress, helpless mode. Right. And I'm saying these as where, and then there's like, nope, I'll do it myself. I could do it. Like, and which has tied to it. I don't want to put anybody out. Right. But we'll kind of cop this like, well, I'm self-sufficient. I'm this, I'm that. And so we get to play in those arenas because none of them are wrong, right? Like it's not like, challenging myself, getting up like, okay, like I'm scared, but I'm going to do it kind of thing. Or yeah, I'll let Ryan sleep and I'll do it. And it's lovely to know that if I woke him up, he'd do it, right?
Yeah.
As if established that isn't a thing. Or that if he was grumpy in the moment about it, you would work that out. Right.
Yep.
Like, and establishing some of these things. So they seem like little things in some ways, but potential and the complexity of them as far as our wiring and what we can intentionally work on. Like you said, like it still isn't easy for me, but it's like you're practicing a muscle of feeling deserving to have someone help you, to take up that space and, have someone tend to you fully.
Mhm.
And that's like
Mhm.
big in your wiring to be doing
Very
this in this process. So
Yeah. And like doing both those things, like doing or like accepting support and asking for it, asking for it and accepting it. And then also like doing it, the next scary thing is like, I don't know, the scary thing is still scary. I'll still resist I'll still resist it and not want to do it. A couple days ago, we had a little adventure. Was this a couple days ago? Was this yesterday? I don't know. I think it was, I don't know.
who cares? Some time ago.
Timing. We went on a family adventure. We went to a park in Chicago.
Whoa.
Yeah, we went to a park. We had a picnic. We
Mm.
packed a picnic, and it was very likely that we were going to have a feeding for the babe at this park during our picnic, which did end up happening. And I was like dreading that feed. Dread is a little bit of a strong word, but I was just like, I was really keyed up about it. It's like, oh, I don't know. It's like my first time. It sounds so stupid to like be afraid of, but I was.
No, it's
like,
an
breastfeeding in public. Breastfeeding in public. It's like
really big deal.
Really,
I don't want you minimizing it. Yeah.
Like I wish it weren't a thing. Like I wish it was no deal. Like not a big deal at all. But it's not no big deal. It's not no big deal. Culturally at this moment in time. So it was like, and we had forgotten, we have like one of those, like, it's not a garment, but we have like, we inherited, or, we came into possession of someone's, like my sister-in-law's old cover thing.
Yeah. It's like specially made to cover you while you nurse.
Yes. For modesty,
I'm totally with you.
So I don't inflict the
my
size
gosh.
of my nipple.
God forbid the world sees my breast.
I know. And like Ryan, bless him, does not get why this is like a big deal for me. It's fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen. I'm like, it's literally illegal. It's literally not okay from a civic standpoint to just have my breast out. And he's like, no one's gonna bother you. And here's how I know is like, if anyone even starts to try to bother you, they're gonna have to talk to me. Like, well, okay. That's all well and good.
Thank you so much for choosing yourself and taking the time to listen to this podcast. As always, please rate, review, and subscribe to Rewrite the Mother Code. It helps other people who need this message, aka all women, well, actually everybody, men included, to find it. I'm honored to have you on this journey in mothering yourself. Remember, change is uncomfortable, but it's beautiful, and it starts with us. And if you can't wait until next week's episode, follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn at Dr. Gertrude Lyons, or at my website, drgertrudelyons.com, and sign up for my newsletter. I'll see you next time.